sorry about the delay.
No,
My phone was acting up. We're good to go.
We get it. Believe me, look at how many technology bars we've had. So.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, can you get us rolling then? In theory. We're working on getting our record. Right, so if you guys want to turn on, that's great. Yeah, that's a pretty fancy one.
Yeah, that's a 360 also.
It's reliable. All right, everybody on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thanks so much for being here today. We're with IUPA and PBA and City. We're doing a joint party today, negotiating what we're going to ask our actuary for the purposes of a study.
Chris Rogers, IUPA. Andy Malky, IUPA President.
Brian Lambert, IUPA attorney.
Greg Forehand, PBA. Lauren.
Brian Schnitt, IUPA treasurer.
Jared Trent, Assistant City Attorney.
Melissa Hicks, Finance.
Secret Gold Funding. Excellent. So thanks everybody for coming today, and we had a hard frost today, so I'm sure it was tough being outside today in the morning, but it looks like it's getting better. So let's just kind of go through agreement on this agenda, and then maybe at the end, if we need an additional session, we can schedule that at that time. And any procedural issues anybody needs to discuss before we get going?
No, ma'am.
No? You guys? Okay, good. Thanks to our attorneys who are here today too. That helps us so much with our discussions, so we appreciate that too. So to get started, what we were trying to do for this session was come up with what is it we want to ask our actuaries to study so that we can look at costs. I mean, this meeting is joint because the interests for the pension piece are all the same, and so we want to take care of that in one fell swoop as opposed to piecing it together individually. So Andy, thank you for that idea, and Warren for PBA's cooperation in that matter as well. So my understanding is the actuary has actually changed. So the person that we would be dealing with is, her name is Paula Freeman, GRS. Apparently the old actuary had passed away last year. Yeah.
So Paula and
Paula
Paula and the actuary that passed away were partners in a small firm.
Okay.
Paula then, after his passing, after Chad's passing, then merged with GRS.
Okay.
So it's basically the same under a different company name.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's good to know. And then there was some discussion about, depending on the size of this request, the city might want to, on its own, procure an independent as well. And we would, of course, share that information with you guys. And without, we wouldn't ask you to share that piece. That would be our choice to do that. And but we would be fully transparent on all that. So if you're agreeable to that, I'll just put that as a thing we might do after we understand our study questions.
Yeah, as long as we get to see it. What
Yes,
happened
sir.
last time was the city decided to pay for it and then used it, kept it to themselves and refused to show it to us.
What
So
would
that's
be
why
the-
we were offering that, both
the
unions were offering to
joint-
pay a third.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would that have been?
You could ask your former negotiator that, but he chose to use it as a negotiation tactic.
Okay, well, I don't have that much bandwidth to do that, so I would say here, the sharing of information has been advantageous to us all, so in order to get a good question to ask our council, it seems to me we should be working together on all of those items.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. You guys feel
Agreed,
that way?
yeah.
Okay. So there was no good reason that was happening last time? Anybody know?
Not from PBA's perspective, and I would imagine IUPA feels
Yeah.
the same way.
Not
There
from
was
my
no good
standpoint
reason
either.
for that to happen.
No.
I think that they did one or didn't share it.
Didn't share it.
He used it to say that the numbers that we had weren't accurate, so we can't do it.
But we're not going to tell you why. So that
Correct.
makes
Right.
sense whatsoever.
That's 100% what
And
happened.
that was the whole purpose
Oh.
of offering to split the cost of the studies, was
Right,
so that
so we
everybody
can-
could see it,
Yeah.
But if you come up independently with something different, you can't just go, ours is different, so it's better. You have to say why.
Well, that would have been our argument last time, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Huh.
I think as
okay.
long as we can all agree that, if the city
It doesn't
decides
make
to have
sense,
an
yeah.
independent study that they pay for, that
Yeah.
they're gonna share the
They would
data
share that data.
with PBA and
my objective is that we walk together, not, you know, so, I think that we can fully agree on that, so.
Excellent.
All right, great. So you guys have a little more experience with these pension questions than I do, especially with regards to your own, pension. So I would ask, could you speak to how we should, in your minds, go about getting to this, what we wanna, how we should proceed on this? Warren, you look like the person with a lot of wisdom over there. You're on the board, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you
But-
help guide us on the?
Sure. So, how far back do you want to go in the history? Let's go, okay.
No.
Let's go back to 2011.
Okay.
Prior to 2011,
Okay.
there was a pension plan in place that, because of the recession, whatever you want to call it, between 2008 and 2011, there were significant changes made to. Importantly, all of your Tier 1 employees that are here were hired before 2011.
Okay.
Okay? So at that 2011 time, it broke up between Tier 1 and Tier 2, and the benefit levels changed between those two tiers.
Okay.
The Tier 1 guys also lost some things that they had been hired under at that point. We'll just leave it at that for now. There's no need to get into specifics.
Okay.
From that point forward, the city asked, and both unions agreed, that we would not look to make any pension changes until the pension became funded at 80%. We were promised over and over, once it reached 80%, we'd be willing to look at changes. So it did that during the last contract cycle, and there were some positive changes made by the city.
Okay.
Just for the record, Tier 2 guys have always gotten positive changes in theirs. Tier 1 has not gotten back to where they were when they were hired at this point. So Tier 1 has gotten a significant thing in that the medical stipend has been pulled out from under the cap, but that's really the only significant change for the Tier 1 guys thus far.
So may I ask, when the Tier 2 changes were put into place, did Tier 1 benefit from those changes as well?
No, at that time, Tier 1 actually lost benefits.
No, I mean after, like when they met the 80% and they started making the improvements again?
Yes, and that's the
Okay.
one thing that has been improved for the Tier 1 guys has been that the medical stipend got pulled out from under the.
Am I
Okay.
correct that Tier 2, although it was improved, is still not as good as Tier 1, right?
That is, yeah, correct.
So while there was
Yeah.
some improvements,
It's
that
still
benefit-
lagging behind.
So these guys are still lagging behind, and these guys.
Yeah,
are
it's
still
pretty
lagging
close
behind
now.
the ones.
It's pretty
Okay.
close now,
So
other
this
than
is a little
by
closer.
state statute, these guys can include sick and vacation into their pension. But other than that, we're pretty close. They are still contributing 0.5% more. 8%
Tier 2
versus
is-
the 7.5%, correct.
Okay, good. And then, all right, so Tier 1, you never made your ground back, but you were the recipient of some of the benefits that happened with the new changes as well, like when the medical, meaning did that benefit Tier 1 and Tier 2, or was it only Tier 2?
No, it benefits both Tier 1 and Tier 2.
Okay.
The only thing we've gotten back is that
Gotcha.
the medical stipend has been pulled out of the cap.
Okay, and then Tier 1 has failed to still make up lost ground.
Correct,
And
that
then
we
Tier
had
2
in
has
2010.
not yet reached Tier 1.
That is correct.
Okay, I understand. All right. So the objectives of each union might be slightly different because you guys probably have more that are in the Tier 1 group,
All but one, yes.
all but one, and then you guys have a younger group coming up that are all or mostly Tier 2s?
Primarily, yes. The
Okay.
majority of my membership is Tier 2.
Okay,
However,
very good.
this is the last contract cycle for my Tier 1 guys.
Gotcha. Okay, all right.
Any kind of changes that are going to happen for them, that are going to benefit them, this is their last shot at it.
Ah, okay. Well, good thing the stakes aren't high in any way. So, right, for anybody, right. Okay, so when you guys have started discussing, what are we seeking for our members? What are some of those things that have come up? Or have you determined what those things are?
We have.
Okay.
Andy, do you want to address it first, or would you like?
Yeah, sure. You know, I don't think it's any surprise. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. We want Tier 2 to be Tier 1,
Okay.
right? We understand that there's this separation,
Mhm.
and I have been pretty boisterous on trying to get the Tier 2 back to that Tier 1 level.
Okay, on all matters?
On all matters, and there are some significant pension changes between the Tier 2 and the Tier 1. We can discuss, mark it down if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Put it on the
let's
record.
Put it on the record.
And
Yep.
Lieutenant Carmen, I'll probably be relying on you for
Sure.
assistance on some of these changes too.
Sure.
So the percentage that's paid in is different between Tier 1 and Tier 2?
Specifically, you're talking about the 7.5 and the 8?
Correct.
Okay.
The medical stipend is currently different. The sellbacks being pensionable.
But we can't change that.
Correct. Am I missing anything? That's pension related? No.
You're 20 years now.
We're 20 years, we have the COLA
High
the
three,
same.
You have the COLA the same. No, I think,
orange-
and the 95 in the COLA.
The cap is the same.
Right, and the stipend came out from under it for Tier 2 as well, so no.
Is the orange paper, is that considered
That is-
pensionable?
Right, that is the state statute that goes to the selling back of sick and vacation time.
Okay.
So that, we cannot, I'm sorry, the city
Yeah.
cannot do that because state statute now prevents it from happening.
All right, so make sure I'm hearing what you're telling me. So the COLA, the 20 years, cap is the same, and the stipend, the medical stipend
Is different currently,
Is currently different?
yes.
Okay. All right. So just those three issues have been brought.
Three
together.
issues, and one of them, it sounds like we can't, state
Impact.
statute
Yeah,
requires
sellbacks,
it, yeah, we can't sell back.
Okay. All right, so, and then when you think about how do we, or what would we ask them to study for us, what would that look like for you?
Well, I met with my memberships, and their number one priority is wages.
Okay?
But
Okay.
pension related, their number one priority that's pension related is the
Uh-huh.
multiplier, which currently sits at 3%.
Okay, so. And is currently 3% for Tier 2, and is that different for Tier 1?
No, it's
No. So
consistent.
they want that, so both groups are interested?
No,
on-
ma'am.
Okay. So what is the IUPA interest on the multiplier? Or what would that look like? Perfect.
Okay. If we were going to study that, agree to study it, it would be a 3.1 and a 3.2.
So a 3.1 and a 3.2? Yeah? Okay.
And we do want the study on the medical stipend, and that's something that we're 100%
Yeah.
consistent on.
Is it easier to give you the two we agree on first?
Yes.
And then give you
Okay.
the separate
Yep.
ones?
All right, the medical stipend.
Okay.
It's the same ask that we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
$500 per month at 10 years of service, with an additional $50 per month with each additional year of service. The maximum at $1,000 with 20 years of service. The other thing that we agree on splitting the cost of is a cap study. It is just not ranked very high for my membership because the majority of my membership is so young in their career and they're not looking that far out.
Okay. But regardless, you would agree with PBA on the study of
Certainly.
a cap study?
Certainly.
And what would that, what are we asking?
May I?
Absolutely.
Okay, the numbers that Lieutenant Carmen and I discussed, and also with our memberships that we feel comfortable studying, is 115, 125, and no cap.
I think once you build the program, studying it at different cap levels is gonna be quick and easy.
And when we talked before, you had referred to the number of 134 in terms of when you were comparing it to other, in the real dollars.
So yeah, anybody can do this sitting at the table. Just Google
Okay.
$95, value of $95,000 in 2011 versus today.
Okay.
And it's actually, now it's gone up to about 140 on just about every website you check.
Okay, yeah. You know,
So
when I-
we're still considerably behind,
Yeah.
and it would probably have to be addressed again at some point in the
Mm-hmm.
future. Won't be the tier one guys, because we'll be gone. But I think that's
Looking at the
really
future.
fair to the city, considering we're not even going to be retiring at a rate that is equal to what guys did in 2011. And we're now in 2026 and beyond.
So, the objective of that is to really get it caught up with in real dollars?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I know 140 is a big jump, so I think steps to get there are fair
Uh-huh.
for the city and for us.
Mhm. And, you know, really, you're kind of thinking ahead, which is beneficial to both parties, the city and the unions, by saying, hey, we're looking at the future and we're looking at the numbers, you know, behind the senior group. So, you know, I know the city manager and others, you know, we appreciate that you guys are thinking of others in the proposals that you're making. So I just want to note that. It's a really good thing. Okay, so we know those two things we have in common in terms of desire to study. Okay, when we talk about that multiplier, that's really an IUPA initiative, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, And what about that concept, we can't change the sellback being pension rule, is that what you're saying? And then the COLA piece, that is one of the things that you gained in the past, that an improvement, yes?
Tier one had, tier two gained it at the last contract.
Okay, all right. Is there anything we need to study with respect to that?
Right.
Respect to that.
To the COLA.
The COLA
That's pretty far
concept?
down on our list.
It's gonna be at least 1.4 million.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right off the bat. Probably more, I don't know if it's worth it to you, it depends on the membership, but it seems like it's pretty far down on the list.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's something that's pretty far down.
Frankly,
Okay,
if we
so if
end
we
up going
do
with the 185,
readdress
I
it, we
think
can-
purchasing the coal is gonna be the better way to do it.
Okay. So what would be the third, you know, main objective to study?
I think we just laid out three: the multiplier, the medical stipend, and the cap.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to keep our study contained to those three topics, or are there other topics that we wish them to do?
Is there anything that the
You know?
city has any interest in improving the benefit on?
I think, you know, we're interested in looking at that medical stipend thing. We're, you know, a little skittish about the cap study.
Okay.
Because that's gonna just be ugly, period, so, you know, I'm not gonna pretend that we're gonna be like, yeah, you know, but.
Does the city have
but-
any interest in looking at the COLA, decreasing the age in which the COLA kicks in? I mean, that's something that my
Yeah.
membership has talked about,
Yeah.
Is that
you know?
number you can retire at X, but you're not gonna get your COLA?
Yeah,
for
so you can
1 year?
retire 20 years of service, but your COLA's not gonna kick in until 59? 59.
So
So,
I'm
I mean,
eligible for COLA 18 years after I'm eligible. Doesn't really matter.
And by COLA, you're getting what per year once that kicks in?
It would be 3% up until you get the cap.
Okay, and they made it that way with that much distance between retirement age. Why?
Because it's the only way the COLA is affordable. Just being,
okay.
it's just being,
Yeah.
that cost is huge.
It's huge?
Changing the multiplier and changing when the COLA kicks in are huge costs.
Okay. So,
The reason I think they did 59 and 3% is majority are doing 1 to 2% either on retirement or at the age of, I think, 40 or 45 is the typical. I think they did 59, so they could do 3%.
I see, okay. So that makes sense.
I think they assume too, if you retire at 40 or 45, you're probably not going to retire.
That might be one of the assumptions in there too, yeah. So
Or-
I would
But at
suggest that
60,
we,
maybe you're going to go with your feet up.
yeah. Or you could.
In theory.
Or for cops, maybe not even lived at 58.
If you study it, I'd study maybe 5 or 10 years off of it to see to keep the cost minimal and then continuing that down the road. It's not something that people are interested in.
I mean, I don't think the city's super interested in that because we want to make sure that we can provide a good wage and, you know, some of the other objectives, you know, and these, you know, we've talked about ever since I've known you guys, you know, 2 years now. And so, you know, we talked about that medical stipend, we talked about, the cap, you know, the multiplier is kind of new to me, but, you know, these are topics and the difference between the tier 1 and tier 2 and with respect to that contribution piece. So for me, I'd like to see us focus on those ones that, you know, have been a frequent topic and see where we can get with that stuff.
Okay.
I know our council, you know, we had a very, very good fire negotiation, firefighters this year. And what I found out was our council was so open to hearing this stuff this year. So I think it's a great year to do this study and give them our rationale and let them work with us to, you know, figure this thing out. Warren, were there any PBA specific
No, just
additional?
the two that I've been consistent on for several years at this point.
Okay, so I think we got our 3.
Yeah, I gotta tell you that the PBA, that the multiplier change doesn't do my guys any good.
It doesn't?
It
Okay.
doesn't.
So
They're
that's
all,
simply a
yeah,
IUPA
that would be just an
focus
IUPA
piece.
thing, yeah.
So the top 2 are the ones that are
Correct.
to your membership?
Correct.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so would you guys let me take the piece to construct that for our actuary, send you guys the documents if everybody's good? We will send it to the actuary and get that going?
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Oh,
we were
I was
talking-
saying, are you guys comfortable if I put that document together, send it out to you guys, you know, have the lawyers, you know, legal eagle it, and then we can send it to the actuary?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
all right, good, good. Good, what other topics do we want to discuss with respect to this?
Just as a matter of course, I'm assuming you're asking me if you can use the pension actuary to do this, and the answer to that is yes.
Yes, that is.
So it just has to be on the record.
Okay,
But she'll throw that in the same email, when
Yeah.
when she crafts the email,
Yeah.
she'll throw it to
Yeah.
you guys for that.
That's fine.
that approval
That's-
level, yeah.
Before she
It's
sends
already
it to
there.
them.
Yeah.
You just have to go through the steps of making sure that.
But that
we're doing it properly.
puts it in writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I appreciate, you know, if, because I don't know these steps, right? I'm
Right.
learning it for the first time here with you. So, you know, if there's steps we need to do and take like that, you know, just please
Yeah,
tell me, because I
It's
don't know.
already done.
Okay. All right, good.
But when you look back at this email, that's what you feel like.
Yeah.
First for the approval.
For the general approval. Okay, good. All right, any other?
Yeah, one other thing, you know, we just making this having this discussion about making these tiers consistent. And, you know, obviously we can't do anything about the sellbacks.
Right.
The other difference is just that 0.5% in
Yeah.
the pension contribution. Is that anything that the city would have any interest in splitting a cost to see what that cost is? It would certainly be a benefit, a small benefit to the majority of my membership being 0.5%. But you know, if we are going to try to bridge that gap between tier 1 and
Yeah.
tier 2, is that anything that the city would have any interest in looking
Would that
into?
be included in this study, you know, or is that a separate cost?
That
We
would
can
be a
almost
separate-
calculate that. by-
We can
Yeah, you
calculate
could
that, yeah.
figure
How
out.
much more
yeah.
money I would have to put in to make up that half.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely.
0.5% times whatever their annual salary is
Yeah.
answers that.
Yeah, we'll definitely, you know, put those numbers together.
Okay.
And if you guys like the number and we like the number, then perhaps we'll propose it.
It wasn't something that my guys ranked real high, but
Uh-huh.
it was brought up in our meetings,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And just moving towards that consistent tier 1 and tier 2.
Yep. Yep, if we're gonna propose doing that, we're gonna let them tell us no if we can't do it, so. But yeah, I don't see any, problem with looking at that and saying, okay, is this feasible? Is this something we can do? Is this something we can move toward? So, yeah, I'm very open to that consideration. So we'll put those numbers out and take a look at it. Yeah. Any other things on that list?
In anything that, you know, the PBA does not want to study, such as the increase in the multiplier, obviously that's something that we're not going to ask them to pay for.
Well, that's, you know, that we appreciate that comment, and, you know, perhaps Warren, how would that, how would that, yeah, how would that bill?
Yeah, you're actually doing, right, 3 studies, right?
Okay.
One on the cap, one on the, help me, the medical stipend, and then one on the multiplier. So we would pay for 2 of, we would pay our third for 2 of the 3.
Okay,
And then that third one, just because there's no benefit to mine.
no, certainly, right, yeah. And Andy, I appreciate that comment. That way, we can ask the administrator to break it up that way
Right,
for the
yeah,
estimate.
she could bill it that way.
Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Okay, any other topics on this matter today?
I don't think so.
All right, I think this is a good way to go about this. If, I will find out if the city is interested in doing an independent on top of that, and I'll, share, you know, what actuary they would propose using, so we can, you know, I'll make sure we're in agreement.
So if we do have an independent, and the numbers come back different, how are we going to kind of categorize that or rank that based on the difference in, you know, how the numbers come out?
We'd have to work with our attorneys to figure that out, but if I were looking at it like as a HR director, I would say some of this stuff is art, not science, so perhaps the answer is somewhere in between and we make some of these assumptions.
Okay.
Attorneys, can you guys speak on that matter, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, if the pension attorney is gonna do the pension accountant's gonna do the study, why would anybody question it?
Right,
Well, why, I can't see why the city would want to do an independent one.
Okay.
Well, we have had, in other plans, actuarial studies come back where the number has
Been wrong.
been wrong. It's
Would-
been
I mean,
unrealistically wrong.
Has it been the case where you get the study and you go, something doesn't look right, so then you look? Or would you be looking to do a second independent one at the same time?
I don't think the level of this, we could even, the one I'm thinking of that came back so wrong, I could ballpark cost in my head. I can't ballpark this kind of cost, so I would have no idea.
Yeah. So, you know, and again, I don't have it nailed down whether the city's interested in doing that for sure or not. It's just
And
been
it may
mentioned.
depend on the actual, you know, what they come back with as a number. So it's like if they came back with a number that it's gonna cost $50,000 a year, and that's it, y'all are good to go, we might wanna have somebody else look at it and go, maybe that 50 seems a little low.
My fear with this independent study is, and I have an email somewhere, I have to find it, from John. Last time when the city had an independent study done, it said that, you know, any study that the city pays for contract negotiations, or statute, it can be withheld from negotiations. So my fear is that the city does this study again, and then, you know, at some point in the last minute, hey, legally,
If you're not gonna use the information.
we're going to
I can
withhold
see
this
that.
information, right?
So
So that's why we
If
had
you use
agreed
it, attorneys that-
Yeah.
to split the cost.
Well,
I
and-
see.
And that's the issue, different accountants use different estimates for what the future holds with
Oh,
regard to
uh-huh.
investments and things like that, and that's where the numbers change. So you get the right accountant, you can get them to say just about
Just
anything.
about anything, okay. So perhaps I recommend to our finance that, you know, we withhold that until we jointly feel that, maybe, you know, Jared, or could we provide the union some sort of assurance that, you know, that we're willing to be transparent and share the data?
I think if we're willing to agree to that, I don't see an issue with that. Just
Okay.
if we're-
So if you guys are more comfortable with us agreeing to that in writing, we're happy to do that.
I think on audio and video is good.
Yeah.
Do you think so? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
you know, in the event that there's a conflict between those two things, that's more than, you know, that's like, you know, we're gonna have to negotiate what we think we're requesting for, in terms of a proposal, and I feel like we'd have to kind of do that together.
But you should be able to lay them next to each other and see
Yeah.
where the drastic difference
Yeah.
is coming
Yeah.
from, because they lay all that out.
They do, they lay out what percentage
They
they think
do?
the stock market's gonna make, they lay out what their estimates are, how long they think, which actuarial table they're going on up for life and all that, so yeah, they'll have that.
Okay.
So we'll be able to see if
We'll
something's
be able to
screwed.
see it, yeah. And so for me, because we're using this data to propose something, right? The studies themselves are not the proposal, right? So, you know, whatever we're proposing, we can say, you know, these are the assumptions we're trusting, or these are the assumptions, you know, and oh, by the way, there's a caveat there. And, you know, let our leadership that'll make those final decisions, you know, weigh both of those things. So I don't think we have to solve that problem.
We don't-
Yeah, so, you guys,
It's just they're left
Yeah.
with a bad taste from what happened last time.
Big.
yeah, and I get that, right, and rightly so, because I would have been a little feisty with me if I was doing that to you, right? So, you know, but I can offer assurances that that's not our intention. We'll be transparent and work
Excellent.
together, so. Okay, all right, so any other items for today's agenda? All right, good. And then, did we want to, what's our next on our schedule? Do we have anything scheduled?
We don't have anything scheduled with IUPA.
Okay, and.
Nor with us.
All right, so do we need to keep working on the stuff that we've been working on? You know, get something on the calendar, so, you know, we can either do that now, or you guys can go back to the drawing board and give me some dates.
We're ready for calendars?
Yeah, let's try to get something calendar now.
Okay. Anybody got a calendar to look at? Yes, that would be great. That's bring my calendar. So, but my calendar's not that busy, so you guys tell me when you want to do it. What days of the week works for you guys?
Monday to Friday. Those work?
That's our preferred day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give me like a week that you're looking at, you know.
Okay, I mean, I can
I can,
do anything, you know, next week, week after, whatever you need.
What do you got?
Do we have anything really left with PBA except for people's wages?
So we're still looking for their wage proposal, we're still. Yeah.
Everything that we're.
Yeah, I think we're pretty solid.
So-
We're
Yeah.
pretty close on
3
foot.
o'clock here.
Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, we don't really have much. I do have to address
After
accruals because we do have one tier 1 or tier 2
Yeah.
lieutenant now. So
You know,
we
did
need to
calc the
address that.
accruals. Yeah, we calced out the accruals, and it wasn't that ugly.
I wouldn't imagine it is, yeah, it's not, because there's no pension burden on them for the tier 2
Oh,
guys.
because he was tier 2, right?
He's tier
He is
2.
yeah.
Right, and so we changed, this isn't really a matter for here, but we had those administrative hours for lieutenants. We changed them and put them in our accrual banks. Well, his accrual bank obviously is capped at 100 right now, so we're gonna have to fix that for him. That's the only thing on the accruals we need to look at. And then, there was one question about workers' comp, but other than that, it's just the pay and the pension.
Yeah, and then a couple of book items.
Yeah, a
So-
couple of little book items we gotta clean
So
up.
let's go through that and get a formal, you know, let's get a proposal for that accrual piece. Let's get the
Okay.
wages on a proposal and finish the book.
Yeah.
Maybe we can TA the non-essentials on PBA. So I feel like 1-2 sessions are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can bring that forward to Shade, and we'll be settled there,
And what was-
notwithstanding study.
Yeah, and then what was the date? That's good for you?
Wednesday, the 11th, at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon would be great.
Yeah, we can do that. Can we do that?
Next week?
Yeah. Okay.
My schedule creeped way up too.
Yeah.
What are you looking at for dates, Michelle?
So I'm pretty much open book, whatever you guys are harder to schedule than me, so I can move.
Okay.
it around.
Can we just give ourselves some time to have a you know, a wage potential counter from the city, and then maybe have these studies back from the actuary before we get back on the calendar.
I'd like to get the book stuff done. Remember, there's a couple things that was proposing we strike and
Okay.
different things like that, couple payroll.
Do you want to have a meeting in between to kind of get that stuff?
Yeah, I'd like to get that
Nailed
all
down.
done,
Okay.
and we can just focus on that other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so one session for each book.
Yep. What are you, are you good,
He's out the door. Okay.
Or it used to be in the contract. What we did last time was we accepted it as they just added it to our vacation accruals. They just put those 39 out. Well, tier 2, I think we did it. It's capped at 100 now. By contract.
Bill, did you say?
So I need to change it so he can get his
Yeah.
30 hours of that.
You said it's capped at 100 hours per contract?
Theirs.
Yeah.
Because he was, it's not in ours, which
Yeah.
is why we need to address it.
Okay.
You found?
Yeah, you just,
It means it's nothing, it's just the same benefit that we're getting.
It's not a total cost.
We just need to add to every
Yeah.
hours to whatever his accruals are. I think they're gonna get the same accruals we get moving forward anyway. That's one of the things that their contract is going for.
yeah, but as long as the contract currently says you get this much accrual.
Correct.
Oh.
Now that he's in this group, he gets that, but you, I don't think it's something we necessarily need to.
looking at the week of, February 23rd,
Okay.
I think we may be good on
25, I'll get a
I'll
request
look
for
at it.
25th.
That would
Yeah.
be a huge number.
February 25th, Schnip.
For him, it would be huge.
Yeah, because we're
You
talking
call
about
it
an
Schnip.
accrual.
So
Jared,
by
how would that go for you?
seniority, it's 4 hours of accrual.
It's just kind of going through
Yeah.
the
5
book, I
years,
mean,
you get 4
okay.
hours.
Probably sit that one out.
Non-financial.
Since he's tier
Yeah.
2 his whole life, he's been
25th,
capped at
Yeah.
we all in agreement to that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What time's convenient?
But does your
Um,
current, does your current contract say?
You guys prefer morning,
No,
afternoon?
no, because it, you don't.
Afternoon.
Does our contract say you
Afternoon for
approve
you.
X number
What
of
I'm
hours?
saying is I don't know if it's in there as
What,
tier
yeah,
2.
yeah.
If it's not in there at
Okay.
all, I agree with you.
Why
Well,
did
this
he-
is, I have no life.
Why did he say, it's not
All
a,
right, so we're gonna do 225
Uh-huh.
at, did we say 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
why are we distinguishing between tier 1 and tier 2 when it's not a pension?
That wasn't us.
Okay. All right.
That was them.
Good.
Yeah, but now that he's in your bargaining unit,
Okay.
it's all
And that's
the
just-
benefits of-
Just to go through
Yeah,
the
for
book.
our contract
non-financials,
doesn't
yeah,
have
and
the tier
then,
2 part.
if you get
Yeah.
comfortable with all that
Which
stuff.
I don't know if it
Yeah,
does or not, which, that's what I'm saying, I agree
Yep.
with you.
Excellent.
If it's not mentioned at all, then it's silent on it,
But
then
yeah,
he goes
that
to our,
way we'll
to our
prepare,
benefit.
so I
Right.
can
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
the proposals.
But we need to
after
fix that, like
hammer it
now,
down.
Yep.
if that's the case.
Yep.
Okay. All right, love it. So we're gonna go off the record now. We had a great session, and I thank all parties for participation today. Thank my
Sir.
bargaining as well, because I love them, they're great. So thank you so much, and we are now off the record.
Times 3.
Times 3, yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, I didn't record it, can we go back?
Yeah. You start over. Yeah. All right, good. Well, I think we're making progress.
That's
We feel like a teenager.
quicker than I thought.